What's up, you guys? It's Audra. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another mukbang. Here we are again. This is the third one in a row, and to be honest with you, I'm loving these, so I hope you guys are too. So grab some food and we're just gonna hang out for a little while, and I'm going to dig into this massive watermelon. This thing weighs 32 pounds. I'm probably not gonna eat this whole thing, obviously, but I am gonna try to make some damage to it. So let's just hope that it's a good one, because I've gotten some kind of bad ones lately and I'm kind of scared, but we'll see how it goes. So again, let me know what you guys are eating. I've been reading your comments about you guys tell me what you're having for breakfast or lunch or dinner, and I need to get on whatever y'all are eating, because y'all make me look really bad. Some of y'all's stuff is like gourmet and I'm totally jealous. So here's the watermelon. Let's see how this goes. Oh my gosh, it's so heavy. I hope this doesn't like fall on the floor. Okay. Oh yes, look at that. And yes, by the way, I do like seeded watermelons. They are my favorite by far. I don't spit out the seeds either. I eat the seeds because it's so good. And you notice that I cut it long ways, and the reason for that is because supposedly, and I don't know if this is true or not, but watermelons are sweeter towards the stem, like that's where most of the sugar accumulates. So if you cut it in half, then like half of the watermelon isn't going to be very good, or it'll be good but it won't be as sweet. So this way you kind of get a good blended balance, I guess you could say. So I've got my watermelon here. Also, I've got a green juice. This is parsley, kale, spinach, lemon juice, celery, cucumber, and I think that's it. I don't know. But I've got some green juice to go with this, and then for dessert, I've got my all-time favorite. This is, well, I won't say this is my absolute favorite flavor, but this is one of my favorites. This is the chocolate coconut chew Lara bar, and I love this. The ingredients, like all this has is just dates, almonds, walnuts, unsweetened cocoa powder, and unsweetened coconut, and it tastes like a brownie. So that's gonna be my dessert, and let's take a bite of this and see how this turns out. Oh my gosh. I'm just telling you, like, there's something about fruit that, like, I don't know, like, I don't get the same experience when I eat other foods like I do with fruit. You know what I'm saying? Like, fruit is one of those foods that, like, when you eat it, it really is like one of those type of foods, you know? It's so good. So let's start talking, shall we? I have my computer down here, if you guys can see it. Michael has to use my phone for something today, so I'm reading off the computer if you're wondering what I'm looking at. So the first thing I'll talk about, because a lot of you guys were kind of asking about this, and I talked about it a little bit on Instagram, but I wanted to go into it a little bit more, was the whole idea about, like, the stevia sugar sweetener thing. Because a lot of you guys were saying that you're, like, addicted to stevia or stevia. And I know where you're at. I was so addicted. But the way that I got over that was, like, I literally just had to stop. And it wasn't just stopping, like, all sugary sweet foods and never having any form of sugar ever again. Like, you can try that, but, and I did that and I crashed and burned. It was so bad. So what I did was I just switched it out for fruit. Increasing your fruit intake will help so much. And I know if you're using stevia or stevia, it's probably because you're already, like, afraid of carbs. You know what I mean? Like, you've been told that, like, fruit will make you fat and all that kind of stuff. But here's the interesting thing. When you eat stevia, like one of the draws to that is that it's a 0-calorie sweetener, right? So that's what really drew me, and I was like, oh, it has no calories at all. I can just eat it all the time and it's not going to do anything, which is true. It doesn't have any calories, but it's so addictive. Like in my last video, I said it was like 20 or 100 times more addictive than sugar, and I was wrong. I looked it up, and it's actually 200 to 350 times more addictive than sugar. So if you think about it, like, you think you're not getting any calories, and you're not. But it's so addictive, you just start adding it to everything, and you're getting more calories in from all those other foods you're adding it to, right? So it kind of like defeats the purpose of even eating it. So, plus not to mention, like, it messed up my stomach so bad. Like, I'm still dealing with issues from it. Plus, like, other things that I've done that messed up my stomach, like, I had an ulcer and like all kinds of stuff, but the stevia definitely doesn't help a lot. And I have to be careful, like, there's some foods that I eat, like even some of the protein powders has stevia in it. And if I am not careful, like, it will seriously mess me up. So anyways, not about me, but about stevia in general. My encouragement to you, if you're just like using it just to get around the fact of eating actual food, I would just like address that first, you know, and eat more fruit. That is my number one tip. Fruit will satisfy you. Like, if you eat enough of it, eventually, like, your brain will just be like, I'm good. We don't need anymore. You know, it's got tons of vitamins and minerals and nutrients and fiber and water, and it just satisfies you, as opposed to just eating like stevia and fake chemical stuff all the time, where you're just constantly like, you cannot get enough. Fruit is literally like the perfect food, and it's so sad. It's really, really sad to me that people still demonize fruit. Like, and I know what it's like. Like, I know how you feel. I was there for a really long time years ago. Like, I was so afraid to eat like more than half a banana. Like, I understand what that mindset is, but it's so energizing. Like, I don't know, we'll stop talking about fruit, but that's my tip on that. Just, you know, you got to stop with it. If it's hurting you and like you're scared, like, those are deeper issues to address. You know what I mean? Okay. Is your husband fully vegan as well? Yes, he is. We actually went vegan at about the same time. It took him a little bit longer to kind of get over like the fish thing, the egg thing, but now he will not eat non-vegan foods, and his is for like health issues, and I won't go into that like in this video necessarily, but maybe I can get him to get on here and we can do a little vegan story thing. But he is, and your husband is not vegan, or your wife or boyfriend or girlfriend or whoever it is, and you are, and it's maybe kind of like this issue, you know, my biggest encouragement is just like, don't, like, it's kind of a fine line, you know, because it's like such an important matter that you want to like talk about it all the time, and like you see them eating like burgers and stuff that's just like killing them, literally, and you know, you want to talk about it and encourage them and stuff, but at the same time you don't want to be like shoving it down their throat. I would just kind of do like a lead by example thing, you know, show them like how good and delicious like vegan food is. Plus, watching a lot of documentaries together is really good. One thing that I found is like, telling them to watch the documentary isn't really, like, they're not going to just do that. You know, maybe somebody would, but most people that I've said, like, oh, watch this documentary, they never do. But if I'm like, hey, let's watch this together, then they're like, okay, you know, we'll watch it. And most of the time people don't like even for us, like, I mean, it's like, you know where the food's coming from, but you don't really, like, you never think about it, you know? It's so far removed from you. So just, like, seeing it with your own eyes really is just like, whoa, you know? Not just from, like, an animal perspective, but also, like, for your health and the environment and everything, you know? So that's kind of my tips on that, because knowledge is power. So once they start learning, like, what's going on, then they'll most likely change. And let me say this, just be patient, because, like, some people it's like an overnight thing, you know? They see it and they're just like, never again am I gonna eat this or whatever, and I'm gonna really change my lifestyle and all that. But then some people, it's just a process. Like, it takes a few weeks or a few months or a few years, you know? You know, just be patient and loving and encouraging. Make it fun, create good food and meals and come up with fun stuff and, you know, that type of thing. Okay, let's see. Okay, so there's so many questions on here about, like, sugar and dessert and Lenny and Larry's cookies. Like, so that's probably what this video is just going to be about. I might as well just make it like a sweet, sugary talk. Watermelon is so filling. Like, I'm starting to kind of get full here. By the way, green juice, like juicing like really leafy vegetables, leafy green stuff, something about that really just, it's like coffee. Like, it's an instant pick-me-up. I love juicing more than anything. It's so, so good. It's so good for you. But if you're gonna juice, stick to vegetables. I wouldn't do a whole lot of fruit juices. I would just eat the fruit. There's a question here about the Lenny and Larry's cookies. And how I used to eat 2 a day. Yeah, so there's actually a really long story about that. I used to eat them all the time. I just love them. You know, I still eat them now, like, but there's a few reasons why I don't eat them as much, and that's because, number one, they started to get very expensive, like, eating them all the time. And they're like $3, I think, like $2.99 or $1.90, I don't know, maybe it's $2, I don't know. But that adds up very quickly. Especially if you have it every day. And then Michael has one every day, and usually I would have more than one. And then, you know, next thing I know, we're spending like $40, $50, $60 a month on, like, cookies. So there's that aspect. And then, like, I don't know, I guess maybe it's because I'm just getting older, like, I don't know. I've started to really look at food as, like, how it's gonna make me feel. And not just so much about, like, what it tastes like. Of course I love taste, but I want to feel good. Like, I want to feel alive, I want to have energy, I want to be in a good mood, I want to have good digestion, be energetic, and, like, just be able to go out and just do stuff. Like, I don't want to eat something that I know, like, I'm gonna feel sick or bloated or tired or fatigued or have a sugar crash or something like that. Like, this right here, this is gonna, like, I'm gonna be zipping through the day. And I noticed when I started eating a lot of the cookies, and it's not just Lenny and Larry's, it's literally like any cookie, I would eat them and I would just be like, oh my god, you know? And I just don't like that feeling. So it's like this fine line of, like, do I want to eat that and feel horrible, or do I want to just, like, eat something like this, eat this, and feel amazing, you know? So, I mean, I think they're awesome, like, vegan alternatives, you know? But, you know, I mean, it's a cookie. Like, it's not like it's a watermelon, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, I don't really, it's not like I'm anti-cookies or anything. For me, it's just like, I want to feel good. Because if I don't feel good, then like my whole day is ruined, and I hate that feeling. I know that's not like for everybody. Like some people, they feel totally fine, you know, like it doesn't even affect them. They're like, what are you talking about? But for me, I have a very sensitive like system, and certain things like really throw me off, and if I eat too much of it or whatever. So I say just do what works good for you, you know. But that's kind of where my thing is. There's this like really long story about the flavors that I used to like and how the formula changed, and I talked to like the CEO of the company, like seeing if I could get old cookies and all kinds of stuff. But I won't go into that right now. Okay, then somebody said, do you have dessert after your meals? If I do, again, it's like fruit. I cannot say enough good things about it. Like, and like when I say fruit, ooh, I'm gonna have to take a break on that. When I say fruit, like, yeah, that could be just like an apple or a banana, but at the same time, I could make some kind of fruity, like, little brownie or a fruity little, like some ice cream or something, you know? And then it's not just like, this is boring, it's just like a handful of grapes, you know? This is like taking some grapes and freezing them and blending them up and making like a grape slushy, or freezing bananas and blending it up and adding some cocoa powder and stuff like that and making chocolate ice cream, or taking fresh bananas and chopping them up and making like putting some peanut butter on them and stuff, making little like banana peanut butter sandwiches or whatever, you know. But if I ever am, fruit usually does it for me. And this is a good example of that. This is just dates and like nuts. And it's so good. Let me know what you guys think about Lar bars and what's your favorite flavor. I would say my all-time favorite flavors. I really like the ones that have like the chocolate chips and stuff, but I find when I eat those, I'm like, whoa, super stimulated, you know? And I just want to eat like 15 of them. But this one's really good. The cherry pie is actually pretty good. It's very tart. I like the apple one too. That one's pretty good. Any of the chocolate ones I like, for sure. I'm just a chocolate person. And I have this theory that like women like chocolate and like cookie dough, peanut butter, fudge, brownie type of stuff. And men would prefer fruity desserts. That's my theory. Because like for me, I'm not really a big fruity person with dessert. Like that sounds weird, because I just said I eat fruit for dessert, but like when it comes to like a prepared dessert, like if it's like a key lime pie or like a coconut cake or something, I would not eat that. I would rather have the chocolate cake or the cookie dough or something, you know? But I have this theory, that's how most of people are. At least from the people that I've asked. But then of course there's always like exceptions, like Michael will eat some chocolate, but he prefers the fruit. Like my dad, he actually isn't a very fruit dessert person. He likes the chocolate stuff like me. These are so good. Okay, sorry, so surprise, surprise, my camera cut off again, but I just finished my Lar bar and I am stuffed right now. I tried to eat as much as I could, but watermelon is one of the most filling foods ever in the world. Like, it's just such a high volume, like low calorie food that you can just eat so much of it and you just feel great afterwards. Like, you just have a lot of energy, which I do right now. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I know it was kind of just all about sugar and sweeteners and stuff like that, but yeah, if you're having issues with that, I would just really increase your fruit intake. Just take the plunge and stop using stevia or other artificial sweeteners or whatever. And fruit is just really good for you. So, and I hope you guys have an amazing day or night wherever you are, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.